What's up, guys? We're gonna brobeatz, and today we're gonna be doing the effects tier list. Last time we did the VST tier list, so I'll link that below if you want to check that out first. So we're just gonna hop right into it. So we got a lot of effects now. With this, I'll just go through the tiers. Now, if something is ranked low, that doesn't mean it's trash. It just means I would rather recommend something at the top. So how I go about this is typically if someone had $1,000 and they said, hey, I want some effects plugins, which one should I get? The ones towards the top are the ones I would recommend the most, and then the ones at the bottom are the ones I would recommend the least. So you would probably get them last. So of course we have gimmicks, snake oil at the bottom, which is just kind of like, you know, it's popular, but it's not really going to change the game for your like effects or your effects change. And then we have not him. Not him is just, there are better alternatives. It's a nice plugin, but it's just, there's way too many alternatives that are just better. Gets the job done, pretty self-explanatory. How you use it / presets. So plugins or effects in here would go in this category if you need presets or custom presets to make it good, or you really need to understand how to use the plugin to make it good. This is every now and then, so it's really good, but you don't use it often because it's a very niche type of thing. Maybe you don't really have a need to use it every day. And then we have great but not innovative. So these are really good plugins. They're kind of like the top, but they're not doing anything different than the other ones, but you can't ignore the quality. And then of course you have sleepers, so just sleeper plugins. You have kind of like the S tier, so worth every penny / future proof. So yeah, that is kind of how it's going to be set up. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right, let's go ahead and get started with ranking these. So we're going to start all the way. I'm going to go through every single one. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining these because I want to get through them. So this is Aberrant DSP, and for them already, I'm gonna just put them in the sleepers. I think people sleep on them. They have really good stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. There's nothing else to explain. Very sleeper. If you know, you know. They got Sketch cassette, and they got Digitalis, which is actually a pretty innovative plugin, but it's just the user friendliness of it is bad because it's kind of hard to use, but it's still really good stuff. Sleepers. And then all guitar plugins, so any like amp emulator stuff like that, I think they all kind of go in one category, because let's be real, like the ones I've used, they don't change the sound. They don't change the way your sound, like, you know, wow, like this plugin adds a little bit more delay, like, okay, you know, it's not really doing anything super nuts to where it's like I gotta have this plugin. So I'm gonna definitely put these in great but not innovative, right? And I think that's self-explanatory. Like, they're great plugins, but they ain't changing. They don't change my melodies to where people are gonna be like, wait, how did you make that? Right? It's just like, oh, it's reverb, you know, it's regular stuff. All right, so we have analog hardware. Now this is real simple. Okay, let's not complicate this. Analog hardware will always be better for now until AI catches up, and it's not. But for right now, analog hardware will always sound better instrument wise or effects wise. It's just the truth. So this will always reign king for now, and I stress for now. Antares, oops, there's not a gimmick. I think Antares maybe nowadays is kind of a gimmick, right? Like, it's just through marketing and stuff like that, but I think it's been the king of auto-tune for like 10 years, and you literally can't ignore that. So it's got to be S tier. You're gonna get your bang out of your buck, and it's gonna be something that you'll probably use for a long time, especially if you like mix vocals or something or whatever, right? AOM, I think AOM has a great quality, but if someone is asking me, hey, should I drop a bag on this, I'm not gonna really tell you to. So I'm gonna put it in every now and then, because this is a plugin. Maybe I want a different type of sound, and I'm just browsing around a limiter or two, and then I might scroll across this and be like, you know, let me try this one time or something. So not really recommend it, but it's good, right? It's good. This is Arteria Effects. Now Arteria Effects, same category. All these plugins that try to emulate hardware, I mean, it's cool, but like when you really listen to the tracks, like if you were to put like a track with this emulated hardware and like Fab Filter or like a Fruity EQ, it's not gonna change your life. It's not. So I cannot sit here and say, oh yeah, you should 100% get this, right? So this going in my every now and then. category where it's like I'll use it here and there if I'm thinking about it, but for the most part I just use the default stuff if it doesn't cross my mind. Baby Audio, I think, let me see, for Baby, I would put it in gimmicks because I do think Baby Audio, they operate off of gimmicks, but I think they actually try to innovate with it, so I'm gonna respect that and I'm gonna put them in great but not innovative. Okay, so if you can get it on sale, cool, you're set. But like, I wouldn't stress about getting their plugins, right? I wouldn't necessarily stress about it, but if you don't have any like delay or like lo-fi plugins, if you get their plugins, you'll be set. You'll be 100% set. Let's see, 𝗗𝗚𝗏𝗘. So 𝗗𝗚𝗏𝗃 has a plugin where if you have like how to explain, if you have like a weak computer, you can kind of bypass that with one of their plugins. So I think that's pretty nice. So I'm gonna put them in sleepers. I mean, not just because of this plugin, but because a lot of their plugins are really good, right? And I think people sleep on them because you don't really hear people talk about them. So 𝗗𝗚𝗏𝗃, I think they're pretty cool. Now BrainWorks. Now I used to go crazy over BrainWorks, so I want to put them here. I really do. But for the time that I did use it, I was excited. It was really good. I can't ignore the quality. So I think for BrainWorks, I'm gonna put them at the top of every now and then. And I might do that. Every now and then I'll probably use one of their plugins, something like that, right? The Masterwork, that's like my favorite one that I use. So what we have next, 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗘 Audio. Now for this one, I'm gonna either gets the job done or Not Him. Now Not Him, if you for some reason missed the beginning, it's pretty much just there are better alternatives, right? Like, and I guess that's subjective because like it depends on what you were exposed to first, but I might just put in gets the job done. If you need like a lo-fi effect, something like that, it gives you that effect 100%. So gets the job done. So it's pretty simple. D16 Group. Now this is they have really high quality stuff, but I would either put this how you use it or in every now and then, because after using them, I don't feel like I have to use them. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like, oh cool, you know, you got like Decimor, like, okay, you got this cool effect, but it's like I'm not trying to emulate the old school sound all the time. Like, I want some new stuff that'll make my melody sound crazy, right? Like people will ask like, oh, like how did you make that? Like, what is that sound? And these plugins, they don't necessarily do that. So I will put it in every now and then. I would definitely put them above here though. Probably like a tie between these two maybe. But they are really good. So don't think just because it's not in sleepers or up here that it's bad, because every effects plugin is good. Every single one is good. It's just how you use it when it comes down to it. But this is a tier list, so we have to make these tough decisions. So now Denise, Bad Tape 2, Denise, whatever you want to call it, or Denise is the company, I believe. So for them, now I want to put them low, but I'm not gonna ignore it. I don't know what they do with these, but when I add this, it just, I don't know, it does something to the audio that I just can't replicate with other plugins. So I gotta put them in the sleepers. I think their stuff, I don't know, it just does something to it. But the reason why I won't put it up here is because my CPU is just, it explodes when I use this plugin. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just so difficult to use this. But the quality is up to par with the stuff up here, so I gotta put them up there. I have to. So let's go back down. DMG Audio. Again, I think all of these will just kind of go up here, right? What is this? Effectrix. All right, of course we all know Effectrix is pretty good. I'm gonna just probably put this in how you use it, because if you don't know how to use this, it's bad. Or if you don't have presets for this, it's bad. It is significantly bad. And it's only good for maybe like a reverse effect or something. But if you know how to use it, or you have like custom presets, it's an amazing plugin. 𝗗𝗏𝗃𝗙. Now 𝗗𝗏𝗃𝗙, I think 𝗗𝗏𝗃𝗙 is great. They have really great stuff, but it just gets the job done. It's not innovating. Like, I've seen plenty harmonizer plugins like this. It's just copying what everyone else is doing. and it's maybe doing it a little different, but for the most part, like, how many reverb plugins do you need? You know, how many panning plugins do you need? So it just gets the job done. Okay. Now FabFilter. Now, I'm sorry. Now I know there are other EQs nowadays, but the same thing with Antares. It's just been it's held king for so long, and it's still innovating, it's still improving, and I just like the visuals and the stuff you can do with the side it's separated bands and stuff like that. It's just a really good set of plugins. You can never go wrong with FabFilter, right? Like, if you buy from them, you know everything that you make with them is going to be goated. So I think that's good. Now this is Freak Show. Now Freak Show, I'm putting them in gimmicks. Now they have cool, their plugins give you cool sounds and cool, like, weird stuff, but like, I have never really like gotten anything that sounded amazing just by clicking a button. Usually it takes me a long time to figure out, like, mixing the effects and stuff, and I don't know, I like the design. That's why I'm calling it a gimmick, because it's like the design is so cool that it makes you want to use it or like get it, but for the most part, I would call this kind of a gimmick. It's not practical, right, for everyday use, because you always got to tinker with stuff. But again, that does not mean you can't use this and it's not good, right? Because every now and then I'll probably throw it on and see, but for the most part, I never really get any good results right off the bat, and that irritates me. So I got to put them in gimmick. Glitch 2, not him. You just want to be Effectric so bad. Look, it's the truth. Okay, Glitch 2, there it is. 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗘 definitely up here in the S tiers. Guitar Rig. So for Guitar Rig, oh boy, Guitar Rig. I think Guitar Rig is every now and then. Yeah, I think Guitar Rig is. Now you're probably like, why didn't you put Guitar Rig with all guitar plugins? It was because Guitar Rig isn't used commonly with guitar as a guitar amp, right? A lot of people use these for like legit effects, like for their melodies. So I wanted to separate them, and Guitar Rig is such a huge plugin. Like, I think it stands on its own at this point. But yeah, I think Guitar Rig is every now and then when you want a certain effect or something like that. Oh, we have Hornet plugins. Now this, I ain't gonna lie, this is the most slept on. I might have to put this on the top of the slept ons, because I think that, you know what, actually, nah, I'm gonna put it, because it's not doing anything completely new. They do have automated mixing plugins and stuff, but like, it's not necessarily changing the game, but it's like really good. Like, it's like S tier good, but it's not, it's just like sleeper, right? Because people don't really know about Hornet plugins, so I gotta put them in sleepers. And then we have Initial Audio, not him. They just want to be Gross Beat, but I like these because they don't have the delay that Gross Beat has. So I gotta put them in not him, because all you can do is just press on and off. And yeah, you can do the fade and stuff, but like halftime would be a better like choice for these, but they're still good. I still use them every now and then, but I gotta put them in not him because it's just a lesser version of like Shaper Box or something. And then we have iZotope plugins, Ozone. For some of these, I don't have the labels because I feel like the UI is so iconic. Of course, we got to put them at the top here. Do I put them above 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗘 or not? I think I could put these. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna just put it at the back for now. But yeah, I think iZotope is worth every penny. If you get this, you're set. You don't really have to worry about getting any more mixing plugins, really. So I think that, I mean, that's self-explanatory. 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗘. Now 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗙, I used to like, especially for like kicks and low end, but I think nowadays it's more of a just gets the job done. It's, you know, it's just a one knob type of plugins, and yeah, it sounds great, but I don't think it's like worth necessarily. It's just, maybe if this is like the only plugin that you know about, sure, but like if you have other plugins in mind, it's just not really something you need, right? And then 𝗗𝗚𝗓𝗄. Now 𝗗𝗚𝗓𝗄, this is automatic. I think this is above analog hardware because it improves what you can do with your sounds. So like, if anyone knows about multipass, if you know, multipass is probably one of the most innovative plugins in terms of like what you can do with your effects, because a lot of these plugins you can just only add the effect, right? Like if you pull up a limiter, all you can do is limit. But with this, you can take your limiter and automate it with something else, and you can like mix and match it with, you know, other types of things, and you can separate it on bands and stuff like that. And I think that is the innovation that I'm looking for personally when I buy a plugin or something. So yeah. 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗘, I think I pronounced that right. I'm not really sure, but I think for them, I'm gonna put them in how you use it. I think it's mainly how you use these plugins, because they have good quality right out the box. Like as soon as you load it up, it sounds good, but that's just about it. And I think you really need to understand the settings to like get the most. So it's just kind of how you use it. 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗙 audio. Now I would put this in gimmick, but this plugin specifically, I really like the sound that it gives. So I think for 𝗗𝗢𝗣𝗙 audio, let's see, maybe I might put it in not him, because there are better alternatives. But if this is the plugin that was advertised to you and you had no plugins like this, then it's a great plugin. But if you know about other plugins, it's not so great anymore. Okay. Now Excite Audio / Lifeline Console Expanse. Obviously, this is at the top. Now, the reason I put this above Analog Hardware is because it improves what you can do with the effects, right? And you can't do what you could do with this, what you do with Analog Hardware. I mean, yeah, you can, there's things you could do with this that you can't do with Analog Hardware. There we go, right? So I gotta put it above that. And I know for anteriors, obviously analog is not, you know, but I feel like analog's quality is way more valuable than an auto tune. Like people don't really even use auto tune that much anymore, right? But I will put these my top two, and I might rearrange these later too, because, well, just don't, as long as it's in a tier, don't worry about my personal like ranking, but as long as it's here or in these categories, you know that it's really good. Let's see, a Lindell plugin. Now Lindell, it's the same thing, right? Like it's just like this one is how you use it, because they are a little bit more advanced, so you got to know what you're doing. So I'm gonna put them probably right here, because where my value and effects plugins come from are, does it make my melody better? I don't care about, oh man, look at the mix, the low end is very tight. Who cares, right? Like at the end of the day, it's about the melody, it's about the drums. Like I don't care just because like, oh man, my bass is a little bit 2% tighter. Like who cares, bro? Just throw EQ on there. Can you make the melody sound better, right? So that's why I can't put it above this. Looperator, definitely a how you use it type of thing, right? Presets, how you use it, you can get the most out of Looperator. Create some interesting stuff. I might even put it above there, because for the people that's like, man, like what are you doing? Like you can't be putting these plugins low, bro. It's just an EQ. You have EQs that do the same thing. It's just it just looks cooler. That's all it is. And don't let these people lie to you, telling you like, oh, it's going to make your sound better. No, it's not. Half of y'all probably don't even have hardware to be able to hear the effect that these plugins do. So it's a complete waste of money. I'm sorry, it's the truth, right? But that doesn't mean they're trash. It's just, you don't have to spend money on it. Like it's not a need as a producer, right? Bass room, not him. It's good. I like some of their leveling plugins, so you can kind of see like how to mix things, but for the most part, it's not needed. If you just get it on a sale, I think you're fine. They get the job done. You don't have to reference plug in, but how many times are you going to use a reference plugin if you make beats, right? It's very rare that you're going to do that. Melda. So I think Melda, where should we put Melda? I think Melda, I want to kind of put Melda in sleepers, because I think Melda is actually pretty innovative. It's just, it's doing too much. Like it's so much you can do that it's like kind of like, it kind of turns you away from wanting to use it because there's so many parameters, but I gotta respect it because they at least trying, right? And their quality is pretty good. But I've only used the free version of these though, and it's in the sleepers category. So maybe if I get the actual plugins, maybe it'll go higher, but I think I'll put Melda. Maybe I could just put them here. Well, if I'm being honest, I think they're probably at the top of sleepers for now. Melodyne gimmick, I'm sorry, maybe 5 years ago, but I think nowadays every VST can do what Melodyne can do. Especially we got AI now, bro. You don't even need these plugins anymore, right? Like these plugins, and yes, it's still good, but I think it's turned into a gimmick because it's just like nowadays you don't have these plugins. You could just throw some into AI and it'll kind of give you the like EQs and compression and stuff like that. Now Mixbox, for Mixbox, I'm gonna put this in, oh boy, let's see, because Mixbox will be kind of the same as like, where's T-Rex at? It's T-Rex, but T-Rex is the same as a lot of these plugins where it is just kind of emulating you know, hardware, right? But I don't know, and maybe it's just marketing. I'm gonna put them at the back of great but not innovative, because I think they are really good, and you can make the argument that, oh yeah, you know, Brainworks is better than T-Rex or whatever, but I don't know. I still use T-Rex, so like I don't really use Brainworks all that much, so I'm just gonna put these a little bit ahead. And Mixbox is the same stuff, it's just same company. I just put them separately because they have completely different UIs, right? So yeah, I'm gonna put those there. If someone wants to roast me about putting these up here, then you definitely can. I'll allow it, because I'm not entirely sure about this yet, because you'd have to compare, but I think they're kind of close. Now we have Nnani. So if you know, you know. So look, if you know about this plugin, then you know it needs to be in S tier. If you know what this plugin actually does, you think that this plugin is about color and drive. No, when you turn this knob up, or there's a knob here that you turn up, something happens on this side of the screen that just automatically makes this S tier. And if you know, you know. If you don't, well, I feel bad for you. So 𝗚𝗡𝗏𝗏 audio, I don't even have to explain this. It's just sleepers for sure. I'm gonna put them above here. 𝗚𝗡𝗏𝗏 audio is one of my favorites. I use this all the time, especially for 808s and stuff, especially when you want to design sounds. This is amazing. Well, that's what I use it for. You can use it for something else, but 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, same thing. I'm gonna just throw them in every now and then. Maybe probably above, I don't know, right? It's subjective at this point, but I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is just every now and then, right? If you have it and you want a specific, like you want to kind of tweak the knobs and get that certain effect, then you can, but it's not something that I go to, right? It's just like if I remember it. Oak Sound. Okay, so Oak Sound, I think every person knows about Oak Sound. Like this is, I gotta put them here, right? This is wonderful. They have wonderful plugins. Like, oh, I don't have this. So like if you don't know Oak Sound, it's like Soothe 2, stuff like that. If you can't, I don't know, for some reason you can't see the plugin itself. All right. So I'm gonna kind of blaze through like simple stuff. So Overlord, a lot of y'all probably don't even know what this is. This is great for like low. I love this for like low end, but I cannot recommend this to somebody. I'm never recommending somebody to get this, right? The Oxford. Now everybody knows about this. I think Oxford is here. It's great, but it's not innovative. It's not doing anything like special. Like you could just put a soft clip on top, but I think it's like the best, or one of the best, for like limiting and stuff like that. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 just gets the job done. I think 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 just gets the job done. They have really good design. They have really good plugins, but I often forget to use them. So I just can't ignore that. Now Portal. Now I slept on Portal for a very long time, and still until I started using it. And a lot of you, if you watch my videos lately, you know that I use this constantly, nonstop, because I am a fan of out the box, just throwing on an effect and it's changing your melody for the better. I don't want to tweak stuff all the time. Okay, so Portal, now you could put it in how you use it, but I think the quality is so good. Like the stock presets are even really good, to the point where I think I gotta put Portal probably, I gotta put him above 𝗗𝗘𝗚, because 𝗗𝗘𝗚, you have to do a lot of tweaking and stuff. But once you learn how to do that tweaking, it's probably one of the best plugins for effects. But Portal is very dumbed down, simple. You see there's 2 knobs. You can kind of get some crazy effects for your melodies, and they almost always sound good. So I think Portal is just one of the best, in my opinion, as far as like making like a melody sound nice. PSP, I think PSP, they actually surprised me with their quality, but I think PSP definitely can go in every now and then. Now where, I don't know, probably on this bottom row. I'll just put them here. So yeah, Pure Magnetic is a gimmick. Same thing as Freak Show. They have cool effects and they could give you some really nice sounds, but like, you're probably not going to see yourself using it too often, right? It's just probably not going to happen. Reactor, this is obvious. It's just how you use this. I don't really like Reactor that much. I just use it for some sound design stuff, but for the most part, I don't really see myself using it that often these days. So yeah, just how you use it, presets. If you have specific presets for it, then sure, right? Red Rock, not him. Okay, not bad, but it's not. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it there. A Sausage Fattener. So everyone loves this plugin. It's like an old plugin. I'm gonna put this at the bottom of every now and then because it has a purpose, but I think nowadays it's lost that purpose because there's so many plugins that it does what this does way better and easier. But it has reigned a king plugin for a very long time, so I will not disrespect that. But I just feel like, you know, in a way it kind of is a gimmick plugin, but I think it's pretty good. It definitely does what it's supposed to do. So every now and then type of plugin, right? Ooh, okay, Shaperbox. Now look, I am a full supporter. This is the only plugin that I support effects wise, like that I can verbally say I support this company. Cable Guys, Shaperbox 3. They are actually innovating. They are changing the way you use effects, right? No other plugin company is really doing this besides maybe obviously like these top plugins. They're kind of changing the way you use effects, but I think Shaperbox is in the lead right now. And maybe there's some plugins I'm missing that I'm not really thinking about right now. And also, if I missed any plugins that you thought would belong in this tier list, just comment below and I'll add them maybe next year, because I'm not doing this again. This is too much work. I'm sorry. So yeah, Shaperbox at the top. Slate Digital. I like Slate Digital, but let me really think about this for a second, because I know if I put this too low, people are gonna cry because brand loyalty. Oh boy, I think Slate Digital should go in great. Now, are they above T-Rex though? I think I'm gonna put them above T-Rex because Slate Digital actually has new plugins and stuff that I think it's called the Mode TT or something like that. They have newer plugins that are up to date and modern. So I gotta put them a little bit above T-Rex. So I think Slate Digital is great. They're not super innovative. They're not good enough to be a sleeper, I guess, because people know they're not a sleeper, right? Everyone knows about these. Softtube. Okay, Softtube. Look, we going straight to the top. Now, Softtube, I'm gonna put right here. Softtube is the biggest sleeper plugin company ever. When I say ever, I mean ever. I don't think anybody really knows about Softtube. Unless if you use Plugin Boutique, then maybe, but I don't really see anybody use Softtube stuff. Softtube is really good, like really good. So now you could make the argument they kind of do the same emulation thing, but it's just really top tier stuff in my personal opinion. Now maybe if you work with regular hardware on the daily and you kind of work with software on the daily and you kind of know the differences, then maybe you have a different opinion. But for me personally, I will put these up here. And then we have, what do we have next? Solid State Logic, so SSL stuff. Oh boy, I feel like I want to put him in not him. Now, I respect it. Maybe that's doing too much. Maybe it's just in it gets the job done. I feel like they're respectable enough to not be a not him, but it's like they're a better alternative to the specific effects that they give you, right? Like the stereo image, like there's way better plugins for it, right? Like this is a gets the job done. If for some reason this is the only plugins that you know about, you can never go wrong getting them, and you'll get great quality, but there are better alternatives, right? And then what is this? Sound particles. Now I tried some of these plugins, but I just feel like it's kind of a gimmick. I feel like, matter of fact, I'm gonna just put them here, right? Again, this is not disrespect to any of these plugins at the bottom. It's just, I feel like it's not gonna change your sounds to like, it's not gonna make them sound super amazing, right? Now I guess with some people, if you have like presets for Freak Show, it could move up to like not him, because it's pretty much just like trying to be gross beat or something like that. But I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's the UI is good and stuff, but it's not really crazy. But for this one, I just got to put it here. Maybe I'm not using it correctly, maybe I'm not using it for the right purpose, but I think that's a problem in itself. If I can't upload, if I can't put the plugin on and I automatically just make my stuff sound good, then I got to put in gimmick. I got to. So yeah, we're gonna put that there. So now we have sound toys. We're just gonna put sound toys like right here. I think sound toys is amazing. They definitely changed the game and what it means to like have effects and stuff. They definitely innovated, and I guess you could put it above, but this is more of like an effects, right? Like, you know, you have like your delays, your harmonizers, your panning, so it's more of like that. But I wouldn't say the quality will get you better. You'll have better quality. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just put it behind there. So let's see, what do we have next? Oh, stock plugins. So stock plugins, we'll go up here. I mean, you can't get any better than this, right? You can't get better than free and gets the job done. Those two combos are always S tier. You can't ignore that, right? If it's free and it gets the job done, then I mean, you can use those forever. You know, they're the best. So there you go. Now what do we have? I forget the name. 𝗗𝗘𝗣𝗘&𝗗𝗏. I would put these in gimmick because a lot of the plugins are gimmicks, but they allow you to do a lot. So I might have to put 𝗗𝗘𝗣𝗘. I'm not gonna put it in gets the job done, because gets the job done is like, it's not changing anything. But 𝗗𝗘𝗣𝗘s definitely, they changed the way effects work. I can't really, I'm gonna put them in every now and then. I'm gonna put them maybe like above here, because I think they like, especially this plugin Tornado, it just, you could do some crazy stuff with this. And I think that's why I put it kind of above. I might even put it above. Nah, I'm gonna just put it here. But yeah, I think 𝗗𝗘𝗣𝗘s is kind of like every now and then when you want to like do something crazy, you could just throw that on and try some cool stuff. But yeah. Oh, Tantra. Okay, so Tantra, I used to use this a lot too. So Tantra, I think Tantra belongs in, let me see. I guess this is more of a how you use it, because if you have effects, I don't think it's better than this, but I do think it's better than Looperator. Well, actually, would this be a sleeper? This is kind of a sleeper. Nobody really knows about this, but it's not really worth knowing about necessarily. But yeah, this is how you use it / having, you know, you got to have them good presets. TB Pro Audio. I used to love these plugins, but I don't see myself using them anymore. So I think I'm gonna put them in just like great. I'm gonna put it above this. Actually, I guess I could put this like above. It just depends what you want. If you like the more like hardware interface and stuff, then sure. But if you like the more like scientific technology, like futuristic stuff, then you can kind of use these plugins, right? And you like automation. So I like this type of stuff more, right? When I'm making old school beats or like an old school sample, I like using the analog. It just fits the vibe. But 90% of the time I like using like this stuff. So that's kind of like it's kind of a trash reason, but like it's my reason, so it matters to me. Oh, thermal. Now thermal, I'll put as a sleeper, because thermal isn't as good as Portal because it's not much you can do effect wise, but I do think it is a sleeper. I think people don't really know how to use it in terms of like making effects, because thermal is more of like a mastering, mixing type of thing. It's kind of like giving you some tone, some character on your sounds, and you can do some crazy stuff with this. So I gotta put I gotta put thermal up here. Yeah, I'm gonna just put it right here at the back. I mean, you could move it up, but I'm just put it at the back because I think since, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. What else? Tone booster. So tone booster, they're pretty good. I like a lot of their stuff. But tone booster, I think I'm gonna put them in every now and then. I'm not really sure about the quality difference. Maybe I'm just put them here. I'm not sure like how it ranks amongst these, but I'm put tone booster in every now and then. Okay. Oh God. Okay. UAD. Look, I'm gonna say this for last because I got a lot to say about UAD. UVI, not spelled that wrong. Falcon effects. So, Falcon UVI. Man. Okay. I would say it's kind of how you use it, and it's kind of a sleeper because people definitely sleep, but I'm gonna put it in, gets the job done, because I mean they do have specific plugins like the drum replacer that is really good, but it's not like the best. It doesn't like instantly do what it says it does. Like you got to do too much, and then most of the effects are just regular reverbs, you know, regular delays. And what makes those effects good is because it's combined with the power of UVI and Falcon, like the actual VST. So when they're combined together, they're great. But I think on their own, there's just way better stuff you could use, right? So Valhalla. Look, Valhalla is just good. That's it. Okay. Voxengo. So Voxengo, this is an older plugin. Oh man, should I put it in great but not innovative, or should I pull it down? And it's really hard to rank these. Like it's easier to rank the VSTs because like it's more obvious like what's good, what's bad, but this is like completely subjective because, for example, say you're a producer, you're watching this, and the only plugin that you've been marketed to or that you know about is T-Rax. You're gonna think T-Rax is the best. But here's the thing, if you're skilled enough, everything is the best, right? Like you can use anything. So I think for Voxengo, I'm gonna put them in gets the job done. Like they get the job done, they have great plugins, but there's better alternatives nowadays, right? And better looking plugins too. Wave Arts, same thing, gets the job done. They hold more of a specific need. They have like restoration plugins, so I guess it's just in it gets the job done. I wouldn't rank it anything above because it's not a plugin I would ever recommend anyone get, but if you have a specific need, it's pretty good. Let's see, let's do Track Spacer. Track Spacer, this is or was an innovative plugin at the time, so I gotta put it kind of like at the back. And I think I might zoom out here because it's kind of getting crazy. Let me see if I could, there we go. I don't know if that looks better or not, but all right, there we go. So coming up to the end here. Oh wait, there we go. So Yam Audio. Now Yam Audio, they have some good lo-fi stuff, but I think overall Yam Audio is just a gets the job done type of thing. And they're kind of a sleeper, but even though they're a sleeper, they ain't changing the game, right? They just have good stuff, so it gets the job done. There's better alternatives, right? And then we have XLN as a whole. So I have RC20 here, but XLN as a whole. So Addictive Trigger, all of their what else they have? Like I guess XO. Well, I guess XO would be like a VST, but you know, all their plugins all together, I will have to put them at the top. Now where, probably a little bit above Valhalla. I might rearrange these a bit. So I think the value of 𝗗𝗘𝗘 is far greater than, I'm moving 𝗗𝗘𝗘 up actually. I think 𝗗𝗘𝗘 deserves to be at least near here. And then you could have FabFilter. Now, yeah, I think FabFilter is definitely worth more than Soundtoys, just by like 5%. I think Soundtoys is good, but it's like, because it's based on like old hardware, it's really annoying to use, and I don't like that. So yeah. And then I think 𝗗𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗘𝗡 and 𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 need auto tune. So yeah, so I think that is a good system right there. Okay. There we go. All right. So now we on to the last two. So we got the two biggest ones. We got waves and UAD. So waves, I think waves, honestly, now I know waves is like the omnisphere of effects. A lot of people want to talk stuff about waves, but I'm sorry, waves, they have been the king of effects. They have been at least in that league for a very long time, and they constantly release new stuff. Now, I don't like how a lot of their plugins are based like analog UI based. I wish they would like branch out and actually make some innovative stuff, but you cannot argue they've been providing heat for a very long time. So I think I might even put them, is waves, iZotope, I might put them like here. Now, depending on how much you use them, you could probably put this higher, but I don't use waves that often. There's just certain plugins that I really like using for waves, but I think waves deserves to be in like the highest tier. So you know what? I'm gonna go catch some breath. I'm gonna take a drink of water because I've been talking for 40 minutes. And we're gonna talk about this UAD real quick. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that and we're gonna get back. All right, so now we're gonna talk about UAD. So I have two separate opinions. Now, this entire list is built for producers. So if you make beats, if mainly what you'd like to do is making the melody, throwing the drums down, using loops, midis, whatever, you're considered a producer. Now, if you're someone where mainly what you like to do is mix vocals and you like to mix and stuff like that, this is not for you necessarily, okay? This is for producers. What is the most value a producer would get out of these plugins, right? So for UAD, I have two opinions. So my first opinion is this. If you have anything above this tier and above, right? And we're talking mixing and mastering plugins. So any plugins like this. So if you have like Arteria Effects, if you have Brainworks, anything above in any of these categories, UAD is a complete, I mean a 1000% gimmick. You have been bamboozled by marketing. It is the biggest gimmick ever, right? That is not even an opinion, in my opinion. Okay, that is just a fact. And if you don't believe me, I actually have proof, which I'll show shortly after I give my my second opinion, which I'll give right now. So I think this is a gimmick for my first opinion. So if you're a seasoned producer, you already have plugins, it is a complete waste of your time to get UAD, unless you are upgrading hardware. If you upgrade hardware and you get the plugins with it, I think it's nice. But there's only like 1 to 2 plugins that I found useful, which is a stutter. This right here, let me zoom in so you can probably see. Which is this plugin right here that's in the background. But even that, I feel like it's not changing the game. I could just use RC20 to get a certain effect, or I could use anything up here in these categories that's like it to get the effect, right? It's not worth me paying a subscription. Arcade is worth a subscription because it's constantly updated. You constantly get new sounds, right? That's worth a subscription. But this is not. I'm sorry. Now, second opinion. If you are a clean slate producer, maybe you only got a few plugins, maybe you got this, maybe you got like a baby audio thing, and maybe, you know, some stock stuff, RC20, maybe even got waves. I think, again, on the opposite spectrum, UAD 1000% is the highest quality you can get today. If you're upgrading, you cannot upgrade past this quality, right? Anything past this is like it's giving value in the melody, or like it's innovating the sound, right? So what I mean by that is like kilohertz or expanse. It's changing the way you use these effects that's built in, right? But other than that, it's just the sound quality. It's the highest you'll probably get. So I might even put it up here. So yeah, I think if you're fresh, you don't have any of these plugins up here, and you're looking to upgrade your sounds, I think UAD is completely worth it, 100%. But for me, since I already have some of these plugins here, right, and I actively use these, this is a gimmick to me, and I'll prove it to you. So give me 1 second, I'll pull up the receipts. Look, this is what I did. So this is in order. So I was like, okay, I want to get UAD, but I wasn't sure about dropping a bunch of money on it, because I'm like, you know, plugins these days, they're kind of garbage, right? They're just gimmicks. So this is the email: view your order, UAD Spark, 99 cents for 3 months. So if I paid $3 for the trial or whatever, right? And then almost instantly, and I can prove it, almost instantly after I downloaded and everything, I was all excited. I was disappointed. I was like, okay, I thought this was gonna change my life. I thought it was gonna be like the god of plugins. And I literally typed this. I said, September 14th is the deadline. Make sure you delete these plugins and you cancel your subscription. And to prove that, this file, UAD get 99 3 months, it's the same thing. This file was created June 19th. So you could do the math. 3 months, accessed today, September 11th. So you might see this video on the 12th or the same day, I don't know. You look, these plugins getting deleted today. It's just the truth. Now, like I said, if you're upgrading, great quality. But for me, I think it's a gimmick, and that is going to be my tier list. If you want to check out the VST tier list, I will leave links below. If you got a problem with anything that I put here, let me know. I wanna see what y'all think is good, like a good plugin, or what is bad, right? Because some of y'all probably think a lot of these plugins at the top are garbage. Let me know. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.